We're in our ween element.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Halloween 3. But do you think they should just change the name?
Um, kind of, but at the same time, I feel like less people would probably watch
That's
it.
true.
I guess it does have one actor from the first Halloween, but it's obviously a different character.
Yeah.
He was only in there because she was married to the director at the time.
Oh, he was like, we need you in this movie. Like, you are so the only person who can do this. I love you.
Yeah, you're the only one that can play bitchy ex-wife. Although I don't blame her for being
I,
bitchy.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
And I'm like, he's not doing when he's calling her and he's like, you got to get rid of the masks. I'm like, I know you're in like a really dangerous situation right now, but you're not being very convincing, like to just call and be like, hey, throw away the masks. Like, no one's gonna be like, okay.
I like the plot.
Yeah, the plot
I
was
like
really
the
cool.
villain.
Me too.
Like, that's a villain that deserves to win. Villain right there.
Yes, he had a vision.
Why, Cochran? Why? Do I need a reason? Mr. Cuthbert was right, you know. I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. And happy Halloween.
I like when this is skipping ahead, but I like when the guy's asking him like, "Why are you doing this?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "I love a good joke, and this is the best one ever."
I know I
Joke
loved
at the expense of the children.
it's so refreshing after every other like villain speech is like I was abused as a child or like I hate whatever or they're just like so intense that they don't make sense. It's like I want to like get revenge on all children and it's like just go to therapy. But this guy's like I think it's
Yeah.
funny. I don't know. It's just going to be like the a very busy day for me tomorrow. Like and his face, and he's just like, "Oh, and happy Halloween." And then I thought the snakes were funny because I do kind of like snakes, and they just kept coming. I was like, "How many snakes are in there?"
And I
uh,
mean, the bugs never bothered me, but I saw this when I was a kid, so
right.
yeah, I'm
Oops.
used to them. But
Yeah. And then I think it was only one with that one lady that they called a misfire.
yeah, yeah, it was only one
Yeah, and that
that
was
like crawled
also
out of her mouth.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, there's a spider or whatever that is." That lady annoyed me, so I didn't feel so bad for her. I thought the whole thing was funny. Like they're not being subtle at all. Like they're like, "Oh, it was a misfire." And the guy's like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
What happened? Misfire.
Like that's so suspicious. Like I liked the song. It grew on me. Like by the
Yeah.
second or third time I heard it, I was like, okay, this song's kind of hilarious. But like the kids were like feral for it. They're like singing it and like they get so excited when it comes on the TV and I'm like, dude, chill out. It's just a song. And then at the end when they're like testing it or whatever and the kids like knelt over in front of the TV and it's like everyone is trying to watch. Like you are so rude. That's bad for your eyes. Like you're being so embarrassing right now.
The one kid, the one that we see the most of, is fucking annoying
Mhm.
too. So it's like constantly like not listening to his parents and just like
Yeah.
going wherever the hell he wants. I think he might flip his mom off at one time.
Disrespectful.
I don't think we see the other two kids in the movie like for
Mm-mm.
more than 2 seconds
Yeah.
because their dad's like, I don't want to be a dad anymore.
Yeah.
I met this like hot babe
Mhm.
at the hospital, so I'm just gonna follow her around.
Yeah, I met this girl whose dad just died and it just seems like a great opportunity to get to know her. Like I thought that was so strong. Like, is this how you meet people these like in these times? Like, oh, your dad just died. Oh, have you just been through trauma? Fun. I hate my wife. Then there's sex. Not. I don't think it actually was like a sex. It was like a makeout scene, and then it like pans away or whatever, and But it was the music was like do do do. It was just
Like
so
elevator
weird.
music.
Yeah, it was like weird mild jazz and she's just laying there, and then he like emerges from the bottom of the screen slowly. It was just the weirdest scene. He was like it was strange. I was like, is this supposed to be sexy?
I have no idea.
And then they hear that lady getting like murdered, and she's like, what's that? And he's like, who cares?
And then he waits until after they have sex to be like, how old are you?
I
Because
know.
she's obviously younger than he is. And it's like, by that point, you don't even bother asking because it's too
It's
late.
too late. When they got to the motel, and he's being all like kind of passive aggressive, and he's like, well, I guess I can sleep in the car if that makes you more comfortable. And she's like, well, where do you want to sleep? And he's like, that's a dumb question. And I looked up and I'm like, isn't he like 75 years old? What? How's that a dumb question? Like if I was traveling with a 90-year-old man, I wouldn't assume that he was into me. I would assume that he's having a hard time remembering who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
But they did it
It's
anyway. Towards the end, when she just like randomly showed up, I'm like, surely he doesn't just like trust that this is her, because it seemed pretty obvious that they would have killed her or something.
yeah.
Like, why would she just randomly be fine? But he's kind of a dummy, I think.
I was gonna say he's a dumbass.
He's just like, oh, you're back. She even like, I thought I heard her make robot noises. Oh, and he also made me laugh when he first gets confronted by one of the guys and he punches him and like nothing happens and he's like, "Oh, shoot." And then he like just punches him again. I'm like, "Why would it work the second time?"
The original plan was after Halloween 2, John Carpenter's like, I want to be done with Michael Myers.
Mhm.
We're gonna turn Halloween into an anthology thing where each movie would be like a different story that took place on Halloween.
Mhm.
And then they made this movie, and everybody was like, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It doesn't have anything to do with the other two. Like,
Aw.
this movie sucks.
Yeah, I actually it's funny earlier when you said like this is definitely a rooting for the villain movie because I thought that as soon as he was giving his speech, I was like, I love this guy. He's just chaotic and determined. And I guess he kind of wins. Like they don't really show it. They don't show the
Yeah.
commercial getting cut off at the end, and I liked that too. I was like, "Ooh, it's kind of like an Inception ending where it's like, ooh, does it or doesn't it?" Like,
Well, and he's having them like pulled in one town, so it's like all
yeah.
the other places in the country.
Yeah, which they went through showing us. They're like, here's Los Angeles, here's Louisiana. Like, look how great this ad campaign was. Every single child in every single city got the like same 4 masks. I was like, there's not any kid who didn't want to be a pumpkin or a witch.
Honestly, people just need to go in not expecting there to be Michael Myers.
Mhm. They just need to go in and think like this is a standalone movie with its own plot and story that won't involve Michael Myers in any way. Like it's actually really good. It's creepy. Like all the they're so dumb. Like Ellie or whatever her name is. Well,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking about this because there's all those guys in suits who are just stood there completely unmoving, unblinking. Like that's suspicious. If you saw one guy like that, you would be like, I don't really want to be here anymore. But if you saw multiple, you would be like, we have got to leave. And
Yeah.
that's how that guy was. He was like, it's time for us to go. And then he's like, I think that these people might have killed your dad. And then she's like, that's Papa's car. And she's about to go
Yeah.
like yell at them. I'm like, are you stupid? You are so outnumbered right now. Why are you drawing
Well,
attention to yourself?
he says they look like the guy,
Mm.
singular, that killed your dad. And it's like, if one of them can kill
Mm-hmm.
your dad,
Exactly.
then, maybe don't be fucking with a whole group of
Right, when there's like 7 or 8 of them and they're all together and like everyone here is friends with them and likes them, like maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe don't go yell at them and be like, that's Papa's car. Why do you have Papa's car? Just quietly go call the police and be like, those guys
Yeah.
killed my dad. Don't like confront them in the middle of Wendy's.
That fucking commercial though is so awesome.
It's 4 days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. It's 4 days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock. It's 4 days to Halloween, Halloween.
Well, there was the one mom who was like, "This is a joke." I feel like she hated it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess because the one guy, like the main guy, also hated it. But
Yeah.
so I guess if you heard it like a million times a day, maybe it would get annoying. But I'm just like, I fucking love that song.
A countdown to Halloween. I was like, "Oh, I actually love this." And the kids would be like belting it out, like hitting
Yeah.
notes and stuff. I'm like, I would have fun singing this.
So
4 days till Halloween. I didn't get in this movie, like, when the kid died, um, I thought his mom just like fainted and then his dad like fell over, but I guess they died too. I didn't really
yeah,
understand what killed them. Did they get bitten by snakes? Because there was a
I
rattlesnake
think
in there.
so.
Oh.
Would you say because I think they show the snake by the dad or maybe the mom, but I feel like it was the dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
I think he might have gotten bitten by a snake or it was like
yeah.
at him. It's just such an elaborate way to get people to get killed by snakes. Like I feel like they could have also just released a bunch of snakes and like the
Yeah.
same, but it's not as funny.
The villain in this movie is this old guy who has this like Halloween mask factory that he is like everybody that works in there are like these robots that he made.
It's awesome.
And then his whole purpose is for kids to be wearing this mask and then listen to his weird Halloween commercial.
Mhm.
And then their like heads turn into bugs and snakes.
Yes. It's such a weird plan. Like everyone buy my mask and then you turn into a bug snake.
Oh, and this guy also managed to steal Stonehenge
Yeah.
without anybody noticing.
That really surprised me. That part made me laugh out loud because I'm like, okay, he's got robots and then he's like, "Oh, it's ancient technology." And I'm like, "How did ancient technology?" Okay, and then he's like, "It's Stonehenge."
I fucking loved that guy.
He was awesome. He looked so proud. He's like, "It's Stonehenge." And the other guy wasn't
Yeah.
even impressed. He was just like, like, dude, this guy like created totally real looking, completely obedient robots that
Yep.
work for him. Like,
And he doesn't even make them like big and scary. They're just
yeah.
like nerdy businessmen looking guys.
Yeah.
We have not, well, I mean, obviously I have, but the real besties have not seen Halloween 2 yet. But the
That's
guy
true.
that plays Michael Myers in there,
Uh-huh.
he plays the one robot that kills Ellie's dad at
Oh,
the
really?
beginning. Yeah.
Oh.
Which I did not know that when I was a kid, and then after I found out, I was like, so Michael Myers was just like this dweeby looking guy.
So this has been Michael Myers this whole time?
To say I've almost finished this glass of wine, so I can't remember what I was gonna say.
No, it's that time. It's like second drink time where it's like, what? Shoot, I was gonna say something about this movie and now I've forgotten. But the one, what? Oh, I remember when I was talking about how he was like screaming at them to stop the commercial because it's gonna kill everyone. And they're like, "Well, do you have any proof?" I felt like they were being so reasonable. Like, who the fuck would take that seriously?
If it goes out, it means the death of millions of people, everyone watching. Don't you understand that?
No, I can't prove it. You've got to believe me. Believe me. Take it off the air now, please.
And he wasn't even stopping to think about how crazy it sounds. He's just like, you have to stop the commercial because everyone is going to die. I think he should have called in and been like, there's a bomb in your TV station, and if you don't shut it down right now, I'm going to detonate it. And then they would have shut it down. They would have been like, we've received a bomb threat. But instead, he's just
Oh.
like, everyone's going to die. The world's going to end. And I couldn't believe they even stopped any of the commercials.
And he's also like a fucking shitty dude because, like, he's a horrible fucking dad.
Terrible.
He was probably a terrible fucking husband because he has an ex-wife.
Yep.
Sexually assaults that old nurse.
Yes, he does. Oh, I forgot about that. He does.
Because he's like, oh, I should have married you. And then she laughs and then he like grabs her butt. And I'm like, what the hell, dude?
No, he's such a skank. And then later, like, when he's trying to get her to run analysis or whatever the fuck, and she's like, okay, but you're gonna have to take me to dinner. And he's like, oh, I'm always ready for dinner with you. And it's like, you just had sex with, like, that 20-year-old or whatever. Like, are you kidding me right now? You're already flirting with someone else? And he's like 1,000 years old.
It's gonna be Chris Evans in a couple of years.
Yeah, I know. I did think about Chris Evans. Honestly, I thought it seemed fine. Like, the kid looked a little shocked for like a second, and then he just turned into bugs and snakes. Like, it seemed pretty humane for the most part.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a pretty good, almost a victimless crime, except for everyone who
Yeah.
gets bitten by the snakes, I guess. But it wasn't
Yep.
as bad as like what happened to the lady that was misfired, or like,
Ugh,
you
yeah.
know, it wasn't that bad. And they have their masks on so you don't have to see it. It's one of just the few villains that's literally just like, I'm here to have a good time. And like, I
Yeah.
don't think I'm doing the right thing. I don't think I'm making the world a better place. I literally am just doing this because I want to. And I guess also the planets aligned, which is just fun for me. And then like he's telling the guy, Mustache Man, and he looks so horrified while he's watching it. And I'm like, is it really that bad? Like, just chill
Yeah.
out. It's not that big a
Yeah. You don't
deal.
even like your kids anyway, so who fucking
Exactly.
cares?
Exactly. You don't even
I
probably know
guess
their names.
he's actually really offended because in like 5 years he's gonna be like preying on all those poor
Oh,
girls.
yeah, exactly.
If
He's
they all get like if all the children get sacrificed and turned into bugs and snakes, like who's he gonna try and hook up with?
exactly. Who's he gonna date in 5 years? That's why he's upset. Yeah, 'cause at the beginning when you're just hanging out with the Mustache Man and Ellie, I was like, okay, this movie's fine, but I don't like love these characters, but I can't wait to meet the
Yeah.
villain because it's always about the villain. And then you meet the villain, and I was like, oh, this movie's awesome. Like, this guy's so cool. This is such an original thing. Like, there's fucking robots. Like, I love this. And then,
He probably wrote that song in the commercial.
yeah, yeah, I bet he did. He totally did. He composed it, like, so talented. And then you see what his plan actually is, and you're like, I can't wait to watch this happen to like millions of people. And I forgot that like the point of the movie is to try to stop that from happening. So I was like, oh my god, I can't. I'm so excited for that to happen. And I just love when a movie like where the villain's plot like excites you and you're like, I want this to happen. And then he got the first commercial pulled, and I was like, damn. And then he got the second one pulled, and I was like, no. And then the kid just goes to the third channel because this kid's like, I'm getting my damn Halloween thing. And it was still playing, and I was like, it's gonna happen. And even though we didn't get to see it, I
Yeah.
was still really excited that that was the direction that it took because that was sick. It's
Yeah.
just a really good plan. Like, I know I'm repeating myself, but the marketing skill that it takes to get every single kid to decide like they don't want to be Superman, they don't want to be Batman, they don't want to be a mummy. They're all going to be skeleton, pumpkin, and witch.
Yep.
Like that's amazing. What a good job. Well done,
Nobody's
sir.
gonna be Barbie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be this ugly ass witch.
Yeah.
I actually just watched the fucking Nun 2 in theaters
Oh, did you?
a week ago. Yeah, well, my brother wanted to go because he likes those movies.
Uh-huh.
and he paid for it, so I'm like, okay.
Why not? Yeah. Free movie.
But it was it was fine,
Uh-huh.
but there was partway through, I'm like, am I just watching a fucking Avengers movie?
Oh,
Because
shit.
partway through, they're like, oh my god, the demon nun is trying to find the eyes of some saint that died
Oh.
a bajillion years ago, and I'm like,
Oh.
would their eyes even still fucking be around? And if so, wouldn't they be racist?
Right.
And they're like, if we gotta find it before she does, and then
Oh
it
my
becomes
God, it
this
is
whole thing about,
Endgame.
yeah, it's these people just fighting out, trying to find this thing before the other people do, and I'm like,
Oh.
and if we find it, we can harness its powers. And I'm like, this is a
Okay.
fucking superhero movie now. Like, what the fuck? I wanted a horror movie.
Yeah, I'm so tired of that plot device of like, oh, we've got to find it before they find it. Like, I'm not interested in that anymore. Like, I've seen Finding Dory already. No, it was such a different plot because a lot of movies, like
Yeah.
even ones that I like obviously we like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and all of those, but it's like kind of the same basic plot throughout the series where it's like there's a bad guy killing people and we have to stop him. But this was like witchcraft and like technology and like
Oh.
corporate greed a little bit. Like it was really different
Yeah.
plot.
Well, and I do think because it does have a cult following now, there are more people that are like, oh, I like this movie now.
Uh-huh.
But when it first came out, the majority of people were like, I don't like this. It doesn't
Aw.
have anything to do with the other ones.
Yeah.
So, it is getting, and like I said, this year and last year, I've been seeing more stuff,
Good. Uh-huh.
made for this movie. Like, I saw a fucking silver shamrock shirt, which I'm
Ooh.
gonna get someday.
I want one. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think I saw it on Amazon, but back in the day, I guess people were not ready for it. They're
I
like,
guess.
I just want Michael Myers, so give me that or I'm not gonna watch. I'm making, because I talked about this before, I've been working on a list of Halloween movies for October. Each day I'll have a different day.
Oh, yes.
And 8 days before Halloween, I have
Yes.
Halloween 3.
Yes.
Because I'm just like, if you know, you know, and if not, then watch it and you'll find
And then
out.
you'll know. Yeah, Andrew gets us. He's like, it's a 2-month endeavor. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Like,
Yep.
August is like you're warming up to Halloween season, and then boom, Halloween season, September, October, and then the first week of November, technically.
Yeah.
And then it's fall. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I do always joke that because of all the Christmas weirdos, like we were saying, they're always like, oh, it's never too early to
They're
celebrate
so weird.
Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Because the grocery store near me, they put out their Halloween stuff by August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, the second I see the Halloween stuff out, I'm like, oh, it's Halloween season.
Yep.
But it doesn't feel like Halloween season until September.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you're gonna be giving me that fucking it's never too early to celebrate Christmas shit, I'm doing that with fucking Halloween.
Yep.
You don't
Exactly.
get to have the fucking corner of the market on being weird about
Exactly.
shit. My final thoughts are gonna be, if you've seen it, you already know what you think about it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend giving it a try. Don't go in expecting it to be I know you're gonna see Halloween 3 and you're gonna be like, oh my god, do I have to see the other two? Nope. Nope, you
Nope.
don't.
Not this time.
And don't go in thinking it's gonna be a Michael Myers movie, because it's not. And I love Michael, but it's okay that this one, it's okay on its own. And then watch Halloween 4 and picture that as Halloween 3.
That's the way. And it's
Yeah.
so good. Like it's fun. The characters are silly. Like you do hate the doctor, but I think you're
Yeah.
kind of supposed to hate him a little bit. And
Yeah.
it is actually like I guess I could have mentioned this earlier, but it's kind of different in that there's not like a final girl. There's just like a final
Yeah.
annoying man. Well, it reminded me of the first Halloween in that it's not resolved. Like it ends on this note of like what's going to
Yeah.
happen, like which is I really like about the first one. Every Wednesday we do this because we're the best. We're the besties. This is how I drew a lot of TVs. I don't know why I thought I'd be able to draw like 10 TVs, but
It's
I
it's
liked the
okay.
scene. I liked it. It's just like 8 more days till Halloween. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.